Such is life. This is Coffee Talk on a Tuesday morning. It is May the 23rd. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and it once again is a cloudy and wet day. We've got our radar box on the bottom left side of the screen as we are tracking the moisture, the storm system that will be impacting our area. Let's first start off with a shot. It's tranquil. It's lovely. I want to go to there. That's a shot from our new Smyrna Beach tower cam. And you can see in the radar box in the bottom left, there are some rains that are kind of hanging out in that area. As a matter of fact, look at that as we kind of widen the perspective out just a little bit. You can see some of those storm clouds. I love this. Right as I'm on, they start moving the camera just exactly what I wanted to look at, those storm clouds that are around. Let's move on to our first warning live Doppler radar and get an idea. Here's a look at that live sweep. And yeah, we are tracking some rainfall this morning and we'll continue to. So let's zoom into Volusia County and let's just kind of see what's doing there. Lapsing the radar, and it's raining just north of New Smyrna Beach, around the Ponce Inlet, Daytona Beach shores. Nothing severe here, certainly nothing like that, but some good heavy rains around Islesboro, kind of working over toward Turnbull Bay, just north of New Smyrna Beach, as it were right now. But there's some rain. And then off the shoreline there of Oak Hill and Edgewater, some rain. Off the shoreline there of the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, there's some rain. It's going to rain, in the words of Ollie Williams. Temperatures out the door in the 70s, not a bad start to the day, but yes, showers and thunder showers in the forecast. Today, up to a 70% coverage of rain. Most of us are going to be getting wet, my friends. 88 degrees, our 3 o'clock temperature, and then we start to see the rains kind of increasing in coverage little bit by little bit by little bit. Yeah, good times. All right, so that's a look at kind of the overall setup for today. Let's look at Futurecast and dial into those rain chances. All right, here we go. Starting this morning, and it's picking up on those coastal showers. Lunchtime continuing. Let me bring it full screen for you. Lunchtime continuing with the rains. And then notice 2 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, soaking downpours around Central Florida, continuing through 7, 8, 9 o'clock. When we look at the coverage for today, my friends, it doesn't take a meteorologist or a rocket scientist to be able to look and say, oh, all right, it's going to rain. Again, in the words of the great Ollie Williams, it's going to rain. As the family, yeah, James, that's who I'm referring to when I say Ollie Williams. It's the Family Guy, weather guy. So yes. Chris says, let me guess, it'll rain exactly when I want to go swimming. It might. It might. Yeah. Frank says, maybe not here. Yeah, actually, we were having a good laugh at your expense on the Twitter because my brother lives in Pinellas County, and you've got a low chance of rain by you, Frank. Whereas the rest of us basically are going to get soaked today. So that's okay. Listen, we need the rainfall, okay? Absolutely need the rainfall. What we don't necessarily need is more severe weather. Take a look this afternoon, a level 1 out of 5 threat for strong to severe storms, meaning out of all the storms, there will be little isolated pockets that could get a little stronger. And when we look at the wind and hail risks today, once again, those are the ingredients that we're most concerned with. Saw some real wind yesterday, and I think again today we very well may see... Hi, Stella. Good morning to you. Very well may see some of the same. Big winds, some small hail. Hi, sweet Stella, my sweet old lady. I left the door open today. You guys made me feel bad yesterday. I mean, not that you meant to, but yeah. Terry, do you know if West Melbourne will get rain before lunchtime? So we did already look at Futurecast, okay? And I would say if you're going to get rainfall in your area, right? Here's 11 o'clock. You can see there's a couple little showers trying to pop up 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's going to be around lunchtime that you're going to get your rains. And then everything kind of starts to shift more and more inland by 2:30, 3, 4 o'clock, that kind of a thing, all right? This is definitely introducing that rainy season pattern. But I do feel the need, I don't know why this camera is so hot right now. I'll have to figure that out. I do feel the need to discuss what to do in lightning, because yesterday, and maybe you were watching West 2 News and you saw this, yesterday we had another lightning fatality, my friends, making a total of 4 lightning deaths for the year in the United States, half of which have taken place here in Florida. Now, that's not a competition that we want to win. We know that the state of Florida, last report that we saw, was the busiest state of Florida, was the busiest state in the country when it comes to lightning density. So this much we know. And if we extrapolate that even further into our area, Seminole County was the busiest, Orange County being the second busiest. But you can see for lightning events per square, was it kilometer or was it square mile? Hold on. It's per square kilometer, because why not? But you can see all of Central Florida is elevated, 95.3 events per square kilometer. In Volusia County, 80.8. And this is actually a point that I want to make, because of our Central Florida areas, guess what? The deaths that we have seen due to lightning took place in Brevard, one of the lower lightning per square kilometer counties, and yesterday in Volusia, one of the lower. So it's important to keep all of this in mind. And just for reference purposes, my friends, the lightning capital of the United States, the last update from Vaisala, which is lightning company, essentially, we get all of our lightning tracking data from them, is the Four Corners. So this happened again. We get these lightning storms every single day during the summertime, and we're introducing that pattern. This seems so trivial, but somebody's family doesn't get them coming home after yesterday. When the thunder roars, you head indoors. Period. It's cheesy. That's fine. Move indoors when you hear thunder. Remember and make fun of me. When the thunder roars, head indoors. Totally fine to make fun of me. Immediately get off elevated areas. Yesterday's death, guy was working on a roof. And never shelter under trees. We saw that in Seminole County last year. Period. It's as simple as that. And I'll add that of all of the numbers this year, all 4 of these people were men. This is not like being sexist. This is not me saying guys are dumb. I mean, I'm a guy and I know that I have moments where I'm dumb. But I would step further and just say, is it a situation where we're focused on work? What have you? I don't know. I don't know. I will always joke, and in many moments I'll look at Jeannie and be like, yeah, you're smarter than I am. You know? Is this one of those moments where she would have been like, I got to go inside, and us guys are like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. But men are more apt to be struck by lightning than women. It's just the data. And in this case, half of the lightning deaths this year occurred in Florida. That is percentage-wise way above. Usually for the year, we'll get 23 United States lightning deaths, 5 of which are in Florida. So percentage-wise, it's a smaller sample because it's earlier in the year, but there you go, right? So again today, we know that there's going to be lightning. Jeannie says, men, hold my beer. I don't know what it is, but this is not a stat that I want to win. This is not a stat I want any of us to win. So, just know when the thunder roars, you head indoors. Simple as that. All right? Yeah. It's a very stormy weather pattern that we've entered into. Here's kind of the overall setup. We've got area of low pressure out in the Gulf of Mexico continuing to invigorate the moisture. Yesterday, there were areas that got 4 or 5 inches of rain, and today we're expecting more of the same, right? Let's look at the overall surface map. Okay, so there's that storm system dumping moisture over us. That area of low pressure continues over Florida, continues out east, and this is where the forecast gets interesting. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. As this storm system starts to pull away from Florida, does it try to bubble up a little bit? It might. Yeah. You know, tropical, subtropical, too early to really tell. But what's interesting here, and let's just go back and look again. We're wet because it's funneling in moisture. Remember, the moisture flow, okay, around an area of low pressure is counterclockwise. So that's funneling up moisture for us today and for tomorrow. But on the backside of this area of low pressure, you get kind of this northeasterly breeze. That's going to batter the beaches. But as that pulls away from us, it actually is going to pull down some subtly drier air. So the 7-day forecast is going to kind of start to look just a little bit drier. Just a little bit drier late week into the weekend. So today, it's a 70% coverage of showers and thunder showers. Tomorrow, 70% coverage. And we could really go 80. Between you, me, and these walls. I think Kellyanne's... I don't know that I've ever seen her do an 80. I did 80. Tony did 80. I feel like Alisi did 70. Maybe he did 80. But at any rate, most of us are going to get wet. Today, tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, those rain chances are going to come down just a little bit. Okay? And then into the weekend, subsidence, drier air on the backside. We're going to still have a few showers and thunder showers around. But look at Memorial Day Monday. That's looking dry. That's looking like a beach day. Yeah. That's something. I'll take that. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We definitely need the rainfall. When it comes to Futurecast and how much rain we could be talking about, let's take a look at... All right, this is Futurecast, just the next couple of days. It's showing little spots with that orange, so spots of 3 to 5 inches these next couple of days. If I'm honest, it's going to be one of those like feast or famine things, right? Like you're going to get some areas that are going to see more rain than others. But like yesterday, some areas saw, and here, we'll look at the global models together here. The European has definitely been drier. I'm certainly leaning more if I'm honest, I'm leaning more GFS in my forecasting. I just think that it's got a better feel of where we're at here. That's just the way I look at it. So I think that that's where we're at. I think it's going to be better. Whereas the European, it's saying widespread 1 to 2. I mean, I don't know about you. My house alone. Let's see. Let me pull up the rainfall totals from yesterday. Like my house alone got 1.55 inches of rain yesterday. Let me just look around. I know that we've got some graphics. All right, let's just look at some. This is yesterday. All right, Orlando 2.04 inches. It says rainfall so far, but that's because Kellyanne did not change the banner today. Wherever the heck Lakeside is. This is why I always make fun. Listen, we all have our things. This is one of the reasons I pick on Manalfi. Like, where's Lakeside? What's Lakeside? Macaroni? He's going to call me and be like, bada bing, it's on the corner of this and that. Port Orange, 1.5 inches. The Villages, 1.25 inches. Klawaha, It says today. It should say yesterday. Here. I'll just scratch out today. There you go. Ocklawaha, 5 inches of rain. Moss Bluff, 5 1/4. Right. Lynn, 4 inches of rain. Romeo, almost 4 inches of rain. And then Matanzas, that's in Flagler County, right? You're looking at, and again, I'll scratch out the word today. Beverly Beach, the C section of Palm Coast. Like Manolfi specifies the C section of Palm Coast, but he doesn't specify where Lakeside is. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. Lots of people got lots of rain. And if you're saying to yourself, maybe it's a little wetter than it was this time last year, you're right. May of 2022, we saw 2.15 inches of rainfall. Thus far, we have seen 5.66 inches of rainfall, which means we are well above average, which means wetter than last year. And little by little, yeah, we're helping our drought numbers, right? Like this is a great thing. When we look at our deficit, Leesburg has gotten significant help, and the rest of Central Florida as well. So these are all good things. These are all. I just need to make sure I'm not going to run Stella over. These are all very good things. Yeah. Tammy says, yesterday when the storms moved through Poinciana, we had some serious wind. Everyone's trash went flying down the street, downburst. There was definitely a couple of those things. There was definitely a couple of those things around, yeah. So I would say, I would just say that if you're making plans this afternoon, anticipate that again today we could be talking about some nasty stuff. That's all. We come to expect it. It's just what it is. We're gonna be fine. Yeah, but could see some more of that downburst style wind, and that's why we're under the level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms today. It's just the way it is, y'all. It's just the way that it is. The associate pup producer's back. That's right. Jeannie says, today is Tropical Tuesday, talk at 10. That's right. So today, I need to figure out my lighting. So, I don't know why my webcam, this is my webcam being all kinds of goofy. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to tweak that for Tropical Tuesday at 10. Yes, today is the day for Tropical Tuesday at 10. Very excited. Not much to talk. I'll give you the preview because it's Coffee Talk. I told you we are not going to change anything in Coffee Talk. Here we are. We're not going to change anything on Coffee Talk at all. We're just going to elaborate on our tracking the tropics deal. So here's a look at the Atlantic Basin as it stands right now. There is no development expected over the next 7 days' time, which certainly we like to see. When we look out there right now, there's a little piece of energy off of our East Coast, but that's it. Frank says, so you aren't on the surface of the sun. No, but like this, and what's interesting is it's not letting me like iris down my camera at all. So I'll have to figure that out. I'll figure it out. It is what it is. I have my alarm set for 9:55 so I won't forget. Janet, thank you. Yeah, I think we've got all the settings all set, and Jeremy and I did a little bit of rehearsal yesterday. Not rehearsal, but we did like a quick make sure that everything is operating properly. We'll probably do it again today before our thing. Yeah. Ryan Cedergren, what a great job First Warning Live Radar did yesterday. Round of applause. Listen. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that thing has become the beast that it is. I really am grateful for it. Yeah. And a big part of it, and Ryan obviously uses the radar and understands the work we put into it. But this is just so bright on the camera. I'll have to figure that out. But the one thing I will say that's just so nice is that the more we've picked up how to use it, the better off it is. And it's just that simple. So I for one, am grateful for it. But yeah, nothing doing in the tropics right now. But later today, it says Tuesday at 10. I suppose I could have changed it to today at 10. I'll admit, listen, it's our first time. So we're going to improve the graphics, okay? We're going to improve the graphics. But today at 10, Tracking the Tropics with Jeremy Nelson and myself. And that's going to be just great. It really is going to be great. I'm very excited to do that. Chris is asking, does Jeremy have a dog named Stella? I know he's got a dog. I just don't know what the dog's name is. I see Dustin's asking about the launch forecast. We got you, Dustin. Arabsat, 11:25 tonight. I'll tell you, it doesn't look great. There's a lot of clouds. There's a lot of moisture. It just doesn't look like it's going to be one of those launches that's going to give us great weather. Yeah, I just don't know, bud. I just don't know. 30% chance of good weather. That's not optimal. All right. Now, questions, comments, concerns. What else do you have? And while we're just yentering it up about the questions, comments, concerns, I'll pop up the 7-day forecast. Jeannie says, I do not always know what day it is. Just saying, the Tuesday part is alpha. Well, and we'll all, believe me, I'm always going to, without fail, I'm always going to chime in and remind you about the tracking the tropics Tuesdays. Y'all need to be in straw hats and Hawaiian shirts drinking out of a coconut. You know what's funny? So I was going to wear a button down, as I try to always, not always, but most of the time I'm wearing a button down when I'm not wearing a suit for work. Granted, I have to put a suit on for work today because I'm doing something on that lightning story. But Jeremy said he was going to wear his WJCL 22 polo, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll wear my Wesh polo. But I'm wearing the Columbia one. Where is that? Columbia one. We pay full price for this, but by wearing the polo, I'll at least fit in a little bit better. I'm just trying to fit in with the in crowd. Wear the blue Hawaiian shirt. That's peak dad fashion. It's in the hamper. I need to do the wash. Yeah. Chris says, I may not be able to trust a meteorologist that doesn't have a dog named Stella. Isn't that a funny thing? Like, Cacciarella had a dog named Stella. Manolfi gets a dog and names it Stella. I'm like, what are you doing? Stelly. Hey, baby. You just hanging out? My sweet Stella. Come here, baby. Good morning. Good morning, sweet Stella. I would pick her up, but she's just getting old. She doesn't like that. Hi, sweet girl. You my sweet girl. They guilted me into letting you in. They did, and I'm glad. I'm glad they did. You need to get groomed, huh? You need your summer cut. Priscilla, how old is she now? When did I get her? Was it 2009, 2010? What is she, 12 now? I think she's 12, 11 or 12. My sweet old lady. Hold on, I can check. I'll check. Hold on. I adopted Stella in 2011. So she's 12. My sweet old lady. Pull that shirt out of the hamper. We can't smell it here, Chris. Oh, my God. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Jennifer says Rockville was amazing. Needed a day to recuperate. It sounds like it was amazing. I've got to get out there one of these years. What kind of dog is Stella? She's a Cairn Terrier Schnauzer Poodle mix. Kelly, you're such a sucker, and it's the best thing ever. If someone asks you to make them a sandwich, you probably... Yeah, you know. Oh, man. Chris, is this about weather or dogs? Well, dang. Do you have a weather question? I just spent 20 minutes talking about the weather. Forgive me for 2 minutes talking about the dog. Let's see here. Lightning strike almost got my husband heading indoors. Carla, I mean, it's no joke. We know we're the lightning capital of the country. We know every single strike is hotter than the surface of the sun. So these things are dangerous. And being the lightning capital, we have to be very responsible and very respectful, very much so. Man. We really do. We really do. Ooh, Robin says ziplining today. It's on the bucket list. That's fun. We were watching, was it the news this morning? I think it was the news this morning. They were talking about zip lines or something, and Jeannie looked at me and was like, would you zip line? And I'm like, girl, I've already zip lined. Yes, I would zip line. Oh, man. Catherine says someone's obviously not a regular. It's all right. We invite all people, regular or not. So here's the way that it works, okay? Chris was asking, is this about weather or dogs? We always talk about the weather first. But at any point in time, I have undiagnosed attention deficit disorder. Like, I'd like to think that if I see a squirrel, it's like, ooh, squirrel. And I know you guys make fun of me over it. We talk about everything. On more intense weather days, we do more weather coverage. And on quieter weather days, we do more non-weather coverage. But today we did a bunch of weather because it's stormy. Right? Yeah. Do you think this is the start of the rainy season? 10% from Memorial Day is unheard of. Mickey, that's a good question. But again, as this storm system pulls away from us, it's going to throw dry air in. Total, Priscilla, you're right. So here, let me illustrate what I mean. And I talked about this just a little bit earlier, but yeah, Memorial Day mostly dry is odd, right? But think about it like this, okay? Our weather is because of this old front and this storm system. So as that storm system moves away from us, our winds are going to shift. So for right now, that storm system, our storm system is out in the Gulf and it's giving us this kind of south wind. So look ahead to tomorrow and we're still going to get that wet southwest wind. But as that storm system works off of our coastline, areas of low pressure rotate counterclockwise. So our winds are going to shift to more of a northeasterly direction, which is still coming in off the ocean. But as that starts to lift more to the north, we're going to get a bit of a drier northerly wind. And eventually that's where our forecast dries out for Memorial Day. It's not the norm, but it's just kind of the way that it goes. All right? That's why you notice those rain chances come this weekend. 30% chance Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday, and then, Monday, dry. Does that mean that we haven't started the rainy season yet? We'll just have to wait and see kind of how it plays out. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Patrick says, I just took my mom zip lining at 50 and then on her 60th skydiving. 70 is coming up and all about finishing my scuba certification. Underwater we will go. I've never done skydiving. I love zip lining and I'm scuba certified. Scuba is one of the coolest things I've ever done and I am so desperate to do that again. One of these days I will. It's so fun. It's just so fun. Oh, man. We're family here. Robin says we talk about everything, so please be respectful. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe you didn't know. Yeah. John says it doesn't help that we compare rare events to the chance of getting hit by lightning, so people will feel it won't happen to me. It's true. Think of it, because you're like, when it comes to the lottery, John makes a great point. Like, think about the lottery, for example. You have a greater chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. But do you play the lottery every minute of every day? Right? Like there's perspective on these things. That's why, for example, you don't see any of those yellow triangle icons on the 7-day forecast because we've transitioned into our rainy season pattern. So even though we have a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms, rains every day. We're not going to put a yellow triangle every single time there's the chance for an isolated storm in the summertime. In the wintertime months, it's different. But now that we're in the summertime, we're not going to be calling an impact day. Our criteria is changing because of perspective. So, with everything, Turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn. Right? That's how the song went. You get the idea. Joel, what is the probability for tornadoes? You know, I always use the term Florida's going to Florida. And in summertime type weather, which is where we are, there's always a chance. Wind gusts are definitely the bigger concern, but there's always a chance. Yeah. Josh, what is the difference between a land spout and a tornado? I think of a land spout as just smaller, weaker. Tornado is going to be much more atmospherically charged. Becca says, I would love to learn how to scuba dive. Do it. I got a Groupon, so I think I paid like $100 for my training. It's fun. It's fun. When I lived in West Palm Beach, see, get it, Chris? Chris gets it. When I lived in West Palm Beach, I would scuba dive 7 days a week, either before work or after work. Then I moved to Orlando. I moved back home, and I don't get to do it as often. Oh well. Oh, well. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to stop this, and Jeremy and I are going to need to do a little bit of technical practice before we do our tracking the tropics. Yeah. Florida's going to Florida. I'm just glad I got it on my flip phone. Yeah. Joel, hypothetically, what do you do if you're on a cruise ship and there's a thunderstorm? Just stay inside. That's all. Just stay inside. Steph's asking Saturday or Sunday for Daytona Beach. For now, they both look pretty good. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'll probably be there, not at Daytona, but I'll probably be at the beach Sunday, I would guess. Janice, I learned to scuba dive in West Palm Beach. You and I have that in common. I love it. I love it. All right, one last shameless plug. Tuesdays at 10, which means today at 10, which means in short order. Chief meteorologist from WJCL, Jeremy Nelson, and I, he's the co-author of the hurricane forecast that we do every year. He'll be with us. We're going to be hosting together Tracking the Tropics. Yes. Oh, and by the way, I see Eric asking, is this current rain part of the LRC? It is. But also, remember that January storm that formed? It's about to recycle again. I'll see you at 10 o'clock. So exciting. For Tracking the Tropics. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you all at 10 o'clock this morning, and then for Coffee Talk again at 3:30. We're chock full of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube lives. Love it. All right. Be the sunshine.